All right. Welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast in the studio, HQ. Yes, very nice place. Joined, as always, by Randy Angston.
I'm wondering what if they're still there? What if they're not back?
No, we're here. We are here. Quick announcement, everybody. We have our coaching program. If you've not heard about this yet, you must not have been listening to the show, but it's our business accelerator program. What is it? It's 8 weeks. Cover everything soup to nuts for systems, operations, staffing plan, marketing, sales. This is your stopgap for all the leaky holes in your business. If you find yourself always playing catch up, if you find yourself always not really knowing the numbers, the KPIs, what to look for, this is your opportunity to educate and coach you and your team. By the way, if you're a gym owner and you want to bring your fitness director into, or a manager, a GM into the coaching program, absolutely, by all means, have them there. We'd rather have more people from your team in there than less, so you don't have to disseminate the information. You know, like that game of telephone when you were in school.
Oh yeah.
So the more people that listen to it, that tell it downhill, the story changes. So we want you in there. We have videos. We've got a portal. We've got homework. We've got coaching calls. One-on-one time with myself and with Randy here on Mindset. What's the URL?
winninggym.com/grow. Grow, GROW.
Yep.
That's a big one. So obviously, the systems, what we cover, all of that stuff. But brass tacks of it is, if you're not making $30,000 or more in your fitness business, this program's for you. If you're working full-time, 40, 50, 60 hours in your fitness business, or you have a part-time job or another job covering the bills of your fitness business, guys, this is for you. At the end of those 8 weeks, you're going to have more clarity and understanding of your business than you've ever had. It's essentially like, building, it's like business 101 for the fitness business.
And 201 and 301. We get deep.
Oh yeah, we're going to go further, but it blows my mind how simple to us it seems, because there's some rudimentary things that businesses need. And 20, 30 year veterans still just sometimes lack some of these things. And so you're truly buying speed, you're buying your time, and we're going to get you out of that driver's seat, or we'll put you into the driver's seat, but we're going to give you the ability to, take yourself out of the business over time, if that's something that you want to do as well.
Perfect.
And that's huge. Huge.
Yeah, that's what I'm most passionate about. Getting the owners out of the day-to-day. So,
well, in today's episode kind of covers how we go about that, how we can do some of those things.
Great. Is that a segue?
Yeah, look at we need one of those, yeah.
Can you put a segue on the screen, Nick?
Just a segue?
Just a picture of a segue.
Falling over.
All right. Well, this episode is what I would consider the best part of the fitness business. There's a lot of things I like about it, but in regards to as a business model, the fact that we can have reoccurring subscription-based revenue over time is what I feel is the best part, because for a lot of reasons, you get to a point to where your base operating expenses are covered by your monthly reoccurring revenue. Everything becomes really, really clear.
Yeah, there you go.
And unfortunately, what I'm seeing quite a bit, and I'm not sure where this is coming from, is gyms are almost compromising their EFT, or which I would call monthly reoccurring revenue, for that higher front end revenue, where maybe they sell a paid in full at a discount or into a challenge at some price point, but they overlook the need for reoccurring revenue over time. And they're playing catch up every single month, and next month comes around, those bills are going to be there, but the revenue isn't. And so now they're struggling and pushing and grinding to sell when they could have really focused really hard for 4, 6, maybe even a full year, months, right?
Yeah.
12 months of growing the monthly reoccurring revenue like it is your only mission in life. And you will see what happens to your business once you get that MRR up to a point where it's just covering. You can look at your forecasted revenue and see, gosh, I have $87,000 coming in next month, and I don't have to sell a thing this month to get that.
It's already there.
And for whatever reason, there's coaching going on out there in the fitness space that are telling people to sell a front end, paid in fulls, collect the money now, secure the bag, get the money. And you look 3-6 months down the road and they're still having to do the same thing. And it's like marketing, sales, and trying to collect and get those big chunks of money in just to cover this month's bills when it doesn't have to be that way.
I'll tell you exactly why it is.
Okay,
I'll tell you exactly why. It's because in order to the process you're talking about, building that EFT is not sexy, but that is a business. That is a true successful business, but it's not sexy. And so to sell that service or that idea to a fitness business owner, because the other companies that are selling it are coaching programs, they're marketing companies, they're supplement companies. They're teaching you how to sell their product, but they need that win for you. And so they're teaching you how to get massive income right away, how to get all of this revenue to be exciting despite what it's doing for your business. But because they've sold you on it, because that's the idea that they're selling, and then because they've followed through or it's happened, your decision to buy from them is reconfirmed. They've done what they've promised. But you're not building the business the right way. That's the problem.
Sabotaging.
You're absolutely, but it's easy to sell that idea. It's easy to tell a business owner, I'm going to get you $50K up front next week. But they don't understand that they're cutting off their nose to save they're killing themselves in the long term because it's that flashy, fun, exciting. So I think that a lot of it's because we're being told by marketers and gurus in the industry that this is the way, because it gets that guru or that whomever agency to sell. The other half is, I think that gym owners, a lot of gym owners still root themselves in scarcity. It's the idea that I have this in front of me, I can create the sale today, I don't know when this opportunity is going to come again, so let me take as much of what I can get from it as I can. Mm-hmm. And rather than creating the system that puts everybody in front of them with the ability to sell and keep long term, it's the flash in the pan feel.
It's funny because I'm the exact opposite, and we have an Iron Circle member that was at another event, and this particular gym owner calls me from the event and said, like, hey, everything that you told me to do, they're telling me to do the opposite of that. I'm like, what do you mean? Well, they're saying we got to collect the money right now. We got to get this money. We don't know if these clients are going to be here long term. We've got to sell as much as we can this month. And I said, well, what's your EFT look like? What's your monthly recurring revenue look like? And this gym owner is, well, it's about half of what I need. I go, wouldn't it make sense to build up that MRR and cover your expenses now up front, like for next month and the next month and the next month. So the next month when you get here, when you're marketing, it's 100% profit and you're not under the gun. And hey, God forbid you want to go on vacation and take a break from the gym. You know that revenue is already coming in next month and the month after that, month after. God forbid, right? You can't take a vacation because that's where gym owners and fitness, they burn out. Because they're always having to sell, right, and push.
Look at the company, because, and again, it goes back to what is being told, what is being taught. There's no systems in place for long-term recurring revenue generated. There's no systems to carry the burden and the work that has to. It's boom. It's today, and if you don't sell as much as possible, you're never going to get income coming from that person. Because what they're doing, they're basically burning relationships as much as possible. Yep. It's today. And why? Because the organizations behind whatever they're selling, I mean, I don't care if it's a nutrition program, if it's supplements, if it's transformation packages, challenges, all of that. The people telling them what to do are doing nothing but teaching them sales. That's it. There's not a fitness program. There's not one of those agencies that is teaching you how to go sell a short-term program. It's teaching you how to deliver on it, how to be a better trainer, how to get your clients results. That's the shit that keeps people through our doors for long-term. Yeah. Not, hey, here's another tactic. Here's a DM tactic about selling more stuff today.
Yeah. And think about a restaurant, right? Every day that restaurant has to sell tables. They have to sell meals. And if nobody's walking in the door, they're not cutting their bills today, right?
Yep.
And how shitty is that? Like if I'm a gym owner and I'm literally waiting for somebody to walk in the door in order for me to pay my bills this month, that's the gym business, the subscription-based model, the monthly recurring revenue model is the best thing about this business that we're in, but gym owners don't even see it.
They're avoiding it.
They don't see it.
How many of them cater to still sell sessions? Because it's digestible, it's easy, it's understandable, it's what we've done.
It's bad business.
Correct.
It's bad business. And if you want to be a truly sustainable, long-term, be here in 10 years from now business, you better focus on your reoccurring revenue. We call it the delta. Everything that we focus on in our coaching programs is based on reoccurring revenue or decay, because you
Correct.
could lose clients and now you're playing catch up. But when you get to a point, and I'll say it again, where your monthly reoccurring revenue exceeds your base operating expenses, you're winning. And there's not many gyms out there that can say that, where they can do a 30-day look ahead, know what their base operating expenses are, say that they're going to have to spend $35,000 in base operating expenses, and their monthly reoccurring revenue in a 30-day snapshot is well above $35,000. There's not many gyms that can say that they have that. And the ones that can, they're the ones focused on systems and business and long-term growth and client lifetime value and keeping those relationships long-term and not focusing on the front end, trying to collect as much money today as possible.
That's true scale. No, let's talk about the one thing on top of all of that is you mentioned clarity, how the peace of mind and the happiness. I could tell you if I woke up tomorrow and I knew my bills for next month were paid, yep, versus waking up tomorrow and having to figure out where every one of those bills is coming from first.
Yeah.
I could tell you one of those situations, I'm a happier guy.
Which one is it?
It's not the one where I'm stressed and wondering where the money's coming from. And then to do that it's like living paycheck to paycheck. It is truly
in the gym, yeah.
In the gym as a business owner living that life. That cannot be a place of happiness and consistent comfort in your mind.
So we've identified the problem. Okay, and we wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't try to show you how to get the problem solved.
There
right?
you go. Let's go.
So the problem solved is obvious. It's we've got to keep people on a recurring revenue. So number one, we love weekly payments for a lot of reasons. One, it's a small digestible piece of currency that a prospective client can see, understand, know what they're getting, and it's week to week. The other reason we like it is because it's 52 payments over a year. The easy math says if it's $50 a week, it's much more than, it's like $223 a month instead of $200. So now you're making those extra payments over the year. Now you're not being shady by trying to do weekly payments. It's just this is your plan.
It's visible.
The thing, and you may have heard 50, 100, and 200 episodes ago where I said you can't say that it's $200 a month or $50 a week. You can't.
The math isn't even. It's
not the same. And so it's either $50 a week or it's $200 a month. It can't be both. I mean, you can do the math. I don't know what that, I think it's 223. I think it is. So it's either $223 a month or $50 a week, or it's $50 a week, or it's $200 a month. Like that's the one, or you can't be both. So you put clients on long-term, and I like annuals, guys. I love annuals at a minimum 6 months, like terms. I love this. Now, there's two camps here, right? Like, hey, nobody wants to be locked into a contract. No problem, Mrs. Johnson. You can go month to month or week to week, but you pay a little bit more. You pay a little bit more for the right to cancel anytime, right?
It's a difference of $2,400 a month at $200 a month.
Say that again.
$2,400 a year,
Okay.
For $200 a month versus $2,600 at the end of the year.
Okay.
At $50 a week.
Catching a whole month.
Correct.
Extra month of revenue. So for those folks that are like, hey, we don't do annual contracts. Sure, you can do month to month, but you need to charge more than your annuals.
But but why? But again, if we're talking about cash flow and long-term revenue, let's not do the month to month. If you're making an option, sure, but you should be building a business based on long-term recurring revenue.
Right.
So back to the point of how do we get you in the right situation? Month to month should be fraction of your memberships. Unless, if your whole business is rooted in month to month, you're going to be in a similar situation.
They could leave. Now, obviously, if you go month to month for a few years and you don't have annual agreements and you notice like, hey, all these clients are staying 18, 24 months. Well, look, you got a great business. Congrats. Sure. I love that. What I would tell you is the annual agreements or the 6-month agreements keeps the honest people honest. Right? There's somebody that's just losing a little bit of motivation, but you know what? They've got that deal in place and they can't just quit.
I truly feel that the month-to-month options for people who just aren't comfortable selling the vision of what fitness is.
It's different ways. I mean, listen, I see both sides.
Sure. Oh,
and if you're a month-to-month gym and you will refuse to do annual agreements, okay. But I just want you to look at your revenue, make sure your lifetime value, your retention rates of those particular members. And if it's the same as it was with annual, hey, no harm, no foul. Sure. Honestly, no harm, no foul, because they were there anyway. We have clients that have been here since our grand opening 13 years ago on a month-to-month plan, and they're still here 13 years later. So look, it didn't matter. It wasn't like we had to hold them here. They were here because they want to be here.
Yep.
So back to the front end of marketing. When you do marketing the right way, when you do marketing where people are coming in because they want to come in and get fit and healthy and it's a long-term lifestyle and not this front end, short end, 6-week, 2-week, 5-week thing. Where was I going with that? When you do it that way, you can do marketing. In fact, we haven't run a challenge in several years here. We don't run really trials. We do what's called a 2-week guarantee. So basically we run marketing and they come in, we do a sign up with them. We put them on an annual agreement and you have 2 weeks to change your mind. Essentially it's risk-free. They pay for those first 2 weeks. Nothing's free.
Yep.
But you're collecting the revenue and they have 2 weeks to change their mind. So it's literally like, hey, it's a risk-free guarantee. It's a trial. If you hate us at 2 weeks, no problem. We'll tear this up. We can go on our separate ways. But after that, they're here long term.
Yeah, and a lot of it goes back to, it's the belief. I think the belief throughout all of it, the belief in your marketing, the belief in your ability to sell, the belief in how long your client should be with you to get the result that they claim they want. If you believe that all of that shit's going to happen in 1 month, run those programs, have that business, be open-ended agreements, and do all of that. But at the end of the day, if you want to build a long-term legacy-based business, build a community of clients that are going to be with you 13 years and have the results and continue to stay and pay, you have to understand that the belief of what we do as a whole isn't going to happen in 1 month. What we sell isn't like a meal, right? Like it's not like walking into a restaurant and here we are after one session, you got the results you're looking for and you no longer need us.
Yeah. They
need the 6 months, 8 months, year, just based on what they said day one they want out of this program.
Right.
And so our reselling doesn't almost happen it's not like it happens every single time they come in. We're still fulfilling that first sale. And that belief, if you believe that those changes are going to take time, and that's the conversations we should be having at our consultations.
Yeah.
Then I think that the whole image, it kind of stretches out the expectation of the client, the understanding, the education, which then leads to more retention in its own. They're not underwhelmed 30 days in when they haven't lost 35 pounds because you haven't sold them that idea.
Yeah, it's a long-term play.
Exactly. But to your point, we're not selling short-term, weight loss challenges that are unrealistic and unsustainable, unhealthy, and on top of it all, we're selling a fitness journey. Yep. A lifestyle. That's what we're selling. And so when we fulfill on that, clients aren't going anywhere.
They're staying long term.
Yeah.
And so what I would challenge gym owners to do right now is to focus on, first, determine what your base operating expenses are. Just in a nutshell, what goes out of your bank account for everything in a month. Look at your EFT, or what you call monthly recurring revenue. Take a look at that. Are they equal? Is your MRR lower or is your MRR higher? What is it? Right? Determine those numbers first. And if you're lower, like many gyms are, like next month, if you don't make sales, you're not going to cover your expenses. Focus, laser-like focus for the next 3 months and build what we call that delta, build up that MRR to a minimum of at least your base operating expenses. And then Watch what happens in your life. Watch what happens in your business, your clarity. Now we're not operating on scarcity and we're not operating on a shotgun approach. Now you can be methodical about how you run your operations. You can focus on delivering a better experience of customer service at the training level. Then the clarity becomes real, and then you can really focus because you're not in scramble mode every month.
Yeah.
And then see what happens. Okay. Then you could take the vacation. Then you can. But until then, your ass better be working 7 days a week, 24 hours a day until you get it. Like that's the reality.
It goes back to the episode we did recently on the difference between growth and scale, right? There's a lot of these tactics are out there for fast, immediate growth. None of them are designed for scale. You can't. Right? You're breaking other areas of the business, and that's exactly the whole point. Is if it's not an idea of doing it for scale, if it's not sustainable through the growth of that business, you guys should take a harder look at the things you're bringing into your business. You're probably hurting the business in other areas by choosing to run some of these things and do some of these campaigns.
Yeah, and that's why we say if it's going to break your deliveries, if it's going to break your systems, run. Right?
Well, think about it. I mean, just from the stake of, like, we're talking about having to keep clients long term, not just the clients you just acquired. So if we're running a challenge right now, let's say we just did that out of nowhere here at Pulse. We decided to run a short-term 21-day challenge. All our attention and focus goes to these people. We need to convert them. They're a trial. They're basically a 21-day trial. The whole purpose is let's get these people into long-term memberships. Well, now the focus of not only the top, but everybody in this organization now realizes the stress of having to keep these people. What happens to all the current clients and members?
Fall off, man.
They get none of the attention that these guys are getting.
Yep.
We've seen this time and time and time again. So now not only are you hurting your opportunity to convert these clients, your entire business is in jeopardy because of a decision to run one challenge.
And listen, guys, it's not your fault.
No.
Right? And honestly, back 4 or 5 years ago, we were in the same boat. It was very sexy to bring in 98 people on a.
We averaged 87.
Yeah, 87 people in a 30-day marketing campaign, and they're all paid. And it's like, yeah, but look, we've learned our lesson, and we stopped doing it years ago. And hopefully, you've learned your lesson too, right? And maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Maybe listen to this. Look, yeah. I understand today you might need to cover your expenses. And so there's some need for covering some costs and selling something big up front, but don't do it at the risk of eroding your EFT. Don't do it. I mean, struggle for a couple months to get to that EFT equalizer. And when you get there, I mean, it's EFT, it's MRR, it's monthly recurring revenue. You know what I mean? Recurring revenue, subscription. Once you get there, guys, then we can start looking at other stuff, okay? But until then, focus, guys. Focus on covering your base operating expenses with your subscription-based monthly recurring revenue. Keep your clients long-term. Look at the lifetime value. To stop looking it through this little, short-term focus mindset, and you'll win.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, it's winning for the long term for sure.
Okay. So that's it for this episode, guys. Hopefully that helped you. Hopefully opening up your eyes that you have something so powerful in your hands as a gym operator on a subscription recurring revenue model. Don't throw that out the window, okay? Focus on that, and you will win. Guys, that's it for this episode. Until next time, keep changing lives. We'll see you on the next show. Bye. All right, and thank you for listening to that episode of the Built to Grow podcast, where we help gym owners win. Now, do you want to connect with me and other gym owners online? All you need to do is join our private Facebook group, Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. Just head on over to Facebook and type in Business Talk with Fitness Professionals, and when you do, we're going to give you our 10 marketing strategies 7-figure gym owners use to win. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, keep building something great.